Good morning, everyone. My name is Tim. I'm a full-time eBayer out of Northwest Montana, doing over 200,000 a year in sales from eBay, from garage sales, from thrift stores, from estate sales, you name it, I'm buying and selling. And today, we're packing some orders. So this is what I do on this channel. I live stream all my packs every single day, Monday through Thursday, and then sometimes on the weekends to catch up for Monday's packs. It's a little raw. It's a little... it is unedited because it's completely live. I'm doing it every morning. And we are packing all the orders for the weekend. Got some good stuff coming up later. Some really good thrift store gold. Not literal gold. If you're here for literal gold, sorry. That's not today. Sometimes I'll find that. But some really good books, some really good other items that we found that we're packing up. But start with a little bread and butter, a little smaller things today. We've got, what, 11 orders going out today? I forget the running total. It'll come up on the screen soon. Probably about $700, so 11 orders. Here we go. First starting out with some arbitrage from Costco. This is Banana Republic pants. I think it was a 2-pack of these things. I did get some multi-quantity, which is what we want when we're selling these guys. And they are 34 by 30s. Yeah, on these ones, again, I say this all the time when I do the arbitrage, is like you can do this stuff, but you got to have the space and you got to have the time, because this stuff will sit for literal years until you find the right buyer. And once you get that right person, though, it can be a couple bucks, and then you do have to have the space to store it. Plus, you got to hit at exactly the right time when the stores are marking this stuff down. And the Costco stuff is oversaturated and really not really worth it for most people. But for me, I have the space, I have the time. Do you treat the shoes? Artie Mike, good to see you. Thanks for popping in. So for the shoes, most of them are clean. I try to buy clean shoes when I get them. If they're not, I do run them through the wash if it's just something simple. Otherwise, I'll clean up the soles the best I can, but I don't like do a whole cleaning process on them. My time is better spent just finding shoes that don't need cleaned in the first place. So that's how I treat the shoes. I just do a simple through the washer. Actually, I have a batch of 12 of them going right now. They're drying out from yesterday. I got to get up. Question 2, do you wash the clothes? Yes, eBay policy does require you to clean all your garments. So not necessarily wash, but clean all your garments. So whatever that might be for that thing. So sometimes it's a spot clean. Sometimes it's through the washer. Occasionally you want to get something dry cleaned because it's going to be high dollar. But yes, we make sure that is the case. Or we just buy clothes that are already washed and clean. These ones are brand new, so I don't got to worry about that at all. All right. I'm going to tape the excess so we can save on some dimensionals. Good to see you, Artie Mike. Glad you could stop it in the morning. If you ever have questions like that and you can't make the morning, feel free to drop it in the comments. Guy going out. Now, once upon a time, I did set a whole shoe setup to try to clean them. And I just found I was just spending way too much time worrying about that, and then rather than just finding good shoes to keep selling. You could get a drill attachment that's like a brush. So I had that. I had the grandma sneakers cleaning solution and had the whole table and things set up and was all ready to go. And some people do really well with cleaning the shoes. There's folks I know that have actually got whole apparatuses, like they've custom made their own cleaning stations and things for the shoes. And obviously, yeah, you can get a whole lot more money cleaning shoes than not. Oh gosh, this is a terrible sale. The offer I took, so these have been listed for a year and a half. Honestly, they've been 10, 22, 24. So since 2024, I did take a $5 offer on them just to get them out of my store. I never wanted to see them again, and they were already on a 50% markdown, and so they just need to go. I'm happy to just never see these again in my life. 10, 22, and 7. Let's go find this guy. But yes, the 10, 22, 7. What it came down to is I want to get paid for selling, not for cleaning shoes. I would rather just be a seller than my job is cleaning shoes, and you can make a lot of money cleaning shoes. I'm not going to knock anybody for doing it. When push comes to shove, I'm better in other areas than that. If I were to really lean into things, of course, like if I was not an everything seller, I would definitely set something up to clean the shoes, because that would be all I'm doing. And I'll pick up a lot of like Pacific Northwest boots and things like that, like the logger boots, like Nick's boots, White's boots, Horn, Welco, all those kind of boots. And some people will refurbish them and do that. For me, I just sell it to the people that are gonna refurbish them. Anyway, these Cools are going out for $5 just to get them out of my store. The Cool, like these are great. Cool's a great brand for the jackets, for the outerwear, for the pants, like the vintage patina dye pants and stuff. But just these larger chino shorts. Also, mine were a little wrinkly coming out of the wash. Didn't look the best. I probably could have ironed them to get more money. But again, I'm gonna spend more time just finding better stuff than ironing all my pants. Get you some more fun sales here. Now, all the heavy hitters are coming up later today. But I just pack them in whatever order they sold. All right, heading on to the next one. We've got the student edition of the Holy Bible. So we got just any Bibles I'm usually looking up, and this one, you know, this type of book I usually wouldn't look up. Like if it's just like a hardcover, no cover kind of like a Bible, like they usually aren't going to do good. But this one was old. This one was, I've never seen the cover before, so I did look it up. Let's go ahead and grab this one, March 27th. I'm kind of niche buyer that's used this one before. There it is. And wants this exact Bible. For books like this, almost hits my threshold for a box, but going in a bubble poly, I'm probably not worried about the condition. It's so something to be used, I believe. Do you advertise or have sales promotions with eBay? Absolutely, I advertise and have sales promotions with eBay. So my strategy for that is I am a across-the-board low percentage promoter. For me, it's around 3%. I just do across the board for everything. I was at 2%. I was at the absolute lowest for a while, and I did find that knocking it up just a little bit to beat everybody else who's just at that lowest percent has helped a little bit. But I've not had great success going higher than that low percentage. My conspiracy theory on that is, and there's no evidence of exactly how eBay does this, but my conspiracy theory is that it's kind of like a carousel, how they give you sales. And as long as you're promoting at some kind of percentage, you will get eyeballs eventually. But you'll just get less time on that front page with the eyeballs than you would actually at a higher percentage. And so you're gonna, if you list higher, you're gonna be able to sell quicker, of course. But you know, I have a little bit of space. I don't mind slower on that. And then the sales promotions. So I use a markdown strategy for all my stuff. So I'm running sales once something's in the store for 30 days, I mark it down 15%. Once something's in the store for 90 days, it goes to 30%. And then depending on the item type, I'll do half off after about 6 months or a year, depending on the item and the type. But some items are going to take just longer to find the right person. So there are some items that I'm excluding from those sales. Examples of that would be like one-off random expensive books or expensive like jackets, shirts, rare things that like it's gonna just take the right person. And so it might sell for full price, you know, a few hundred, if not thousands of dollars like later on. But I'm not gonna mark that down half off just because the right person hasn't come along. But stuff like this, these Solomon shoes did hit a markdown sale. These were listed in December, and so they were probably on my 15%, maybe had hit my 30%, I'm not sure. Or actually, they might have just hit my 30%. and we got 20 bucks out of them. And so I sell a lot of these Solomons. Let's grab these. Are December 5th. I just redid my views here for this, so I might need a second. I scrunched down all my shoes to fit more because I'm running out of space and I got to get ready for sourcing season here. These are threes. Nope, those are the different ones. I'm about to be hit with more inventory than I can handle, and I've got to get ready. I've got to be ready for when this opens up. Mission 3. I really did move these around, didn't I? Did move these around. Oh, I'm in the wrong section now. I scrunched down all my dates. I do date-based inventory on all my stuff, and so I scrunched the dates down, and now these ones moved shelves over to here. That's why they were tricky to find. All right, these are the X Mission 3s. I got a lot of Solomons too. I find these a lot, and I find they do pretty well for me. All right. Going in a bag. Yeah, the thrift store's been hitting pretty good lately. I think, you know, I don't get most of my stuff from the thrifts. I get most of my stuff from estate sales, most of my stuff from connections I have with people who do storage lockers, connections I have with people running the estate sales, or people that want to offload a lot of stuff. But the thrift store is a necessity I have, especially over the winter when things really slow down on the buying and selling front, that I have to have something to get. Plus, we also got a new pay-by-the-pound place around here. That's been pretty good to me. It's been good. I've been showing up every single day. Well, except for weekends. I do take those off. And they don't stock as good on the weekends anyway. To pick up kind of the supplemental inventory to get me through the winter. I would have had to take more trips out of state usually to get the stuff I need, but this year, honestly, I've had way better luck just in town because of that opportunity. So I'm using it as much as I can before it slows down, because I believe it will slow down. Still think that I like a baby bins here. We're trying to get our footing and figure out how to process it all. That I think there's a lot of opportunity there, but it is definitely slowing down from what it was when it opened up a little over a year ago. All right, we got that. And that guy is good to go. I currently have 9,200 listed with 16,000. 1 second. 14 by 7 by 5. Let me get this printing and I'll read that. 14 by 7 by 5. Okay. With 16,000 listing views, you have 1,250 items listed. How many listed views today? Oh, goodness gracious. I don't even know my listed views today. I can tell you I have 1,250 list. Actually, I have more than 1,250 listed. It might be showing different on that than my store manager. I'll double check for you quick here. I don't mind looking at that. So I really don't even care about traffic. I care about my sell-through. And so for me, on my overview, it shows, gosh, better at this on mobile. 1389 listed, and on the sold, I'm just gonna check mobile because I don't look at this kind of data all the time on there. So about 1,400 listed, and I have 1,300 sold items. So almost the same listed as sold is where I like to be. And then I think the bigger your store gets, the slower the sell-through. Things kind of stick around in there. I think I can go to traffic. I think there's a traffic tab. Oh, there's my traffic tab. So I got on my traffic tab, it says 25,000, and I guess that's the last month period. So 25,000. There you go. Use that for what you will. For me, I'm just looking for sell-through on items. I'm looking to make sure that when I buy and list an item, that when you look at the, what you search for and then what you search for in the sold sections, is about the same number, or if not the same number, that would be 100% sell through. Or I look for something that's close. So like, it just depends on how fast I want to sell the item. So like 100 listed, 60 sold is pretty good. 100 listed, 5 sold, I'm probably staying away from it, but it depends. It depends on the nuances of the item. Let's see, moving on. Champion reverse weave. This one was a bins pickup. I don't do a lot of clothing like this, but I'll pick up the reverse weaves. Did a few dollars. I got, I think, an offer of 15 on this guy. Nah, 13 bucks. 13 bucks, not a huge one, but we're picking it up for pennies on these. So 6/26, June 26 and 12. The price here is 2 important numbers: number listed today and number sold today. Those are really good numbers. So for me, I am averaging, last month I just did the math, it was like 11.4 items a day listed, which frustrated me because I am a live and die by 12 items a day. I want to make sure I'm getting 12 items a day up. I just missed that goal last month, but 12 items a day is what I'm listing, and that's roughly what I'm seeing sold. I also like to see whatever, like in the 90-day totals, I like to see my number listed about the same as my number sold. But this is so nuanced because it's going to depend on what you sell. Like there's people, 12 by 8 by 4. There's people that sell stuff that has insanely low sell-through rate, but they're doing thousands and thousands and thousands. I know some of my initial traffic for this channel came from Popeye's postcards. Shout out to Popeye's. He was wonderful, came in and kind of rated this stream the first day we ran it. So got a few people. And if you're doing postcards, it's a different game. It's such a different game. Because those, you're going to have thousands and thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of listings sometimes. And you're going to be only getting a handful of sales a day because you got to find the right person at the right time. And then where you really make the money in games like postcards or media or low dollar jewelry, things like that, is when people come in and they buy a bunch because they know your store, you've had a good experience, and then they're going to buy like 10 postcards or 10 whatever widgets today. I am not that store. And so my numbers, I want to move things fast. Let's see, Crispy Colorado. So I do find a lot of mountaineering boots and things like that this out here. I forget, this might have been bins, but I have also been taking stuff from my storage locker. And so could have been a sale over the summer too. I've kind of lost track at this point. These are made in Italy. Any of the Crispies are good. These ones do not have laces. I might throw a pair of laces in there for them. I stocked the laces. I want to see what my lister said about that. I stocked the laces and usually would actually sell them alongside this, but this was probably a relist before I had the laces. I'll throw a pair in for him, whatever. It doesn't say either way. Cost me a couple bucks on Amazon just to throw a little pair of laces in with them. I usually list them with that I'm going to give their laces. $3.23. Let's go find them. And then on ones like this, I'm usually not even lacing them. I'm usually just taking pictures with the extra laces because the time it takes to lace them is time I could be doing something else, and it kind of looks good in the photos when you do that. Someone's like, man, they got a whole new pair of laces for me. Yep. Cost me, I think, $2.50 for a pair of laces, and makes things sell a lot more. But these were a relist. These actually got returned. My AI lister picked up the Colorado 2 as 11. So they were sold as size 11s. I felt stupid because that was one of the first AI listers ones I did. I didn't double check the sizes. So these are actually size 14s. And so you do have to double check that AI. The overlords have not completely taken over yet. They need a little human intervention here and there. And sizing is one. Sometimes, I'd say 98% of the time they get it right if you got good photos. But every once in a while, you got nuance like this you got to watch out for. And personally, I believe if you're not AI listing at this point, you are really falling behind. I know AI this, AI that, everyone's tired of hearing about it, but frankly, you can just do so much more. Like my time is then freed up to do other things in my business than just worrying about listing. I think it's going to get really interesting here really fast, as that's given more people access, get a lot of people or a lot of items up in their stores quickly. These probably aren't going to fit this box, so I want to double check. I probably need my big box. But if they can fit in this one, I can save a couple bucks. Oh, maybe. Yeah, like a glove. I think that's going to work. So let's go put these in here, and that'll save a little bit on shipping. My 14 by 10 by 6 has become one of my new favorite box sizes. It stocks these boots just about right. All right, so I like to do a little bit of bubble. Not really necessary, but I do it anyway. I'm going to double check these are the Colorado 2 Gore-Tex size 14s. We're going to throw these extra laces in there with them. All right. And my paper got moved because I was using it to take some photos the other day. I like stuffing the boots to make them look nice when I take the photos. All right. Going in. That's going in. And these are going to be off. And honestly, I do so much media too. I was calculating, it's around 20% right now. Sometimes it goes higher of my store sales is from media. And so that will clog my store down a little bit. I would assume if I didn't have the books, my sell-through would be way over what it is now. It would be closer to probably like 800 listed, 1,000 sold on the 90-day totals. Okay, do you use AI listing tool? Which one? Gemini from Chrome. How long does it take you to list 12 items? Not long at all. The whole process all in depends. It so depends on the item. If it's books, I mean, we're talking like 10 minutes. Like it's like a minute an item. Because it's photo, upload to the lister, drag, and you're done. Like that's it doesn't take long at all for books or media. But if it's something for like shoes, for like clothes, you're going to take longer on your photos a little bit. You're going to take a little bit more prep time. But the actual listing process on AI, I mean, you're talking hundreds of items, tens of items in minutes. You just have to do the double checking. And double checking takes maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds an item. And some items you don't need to double check. Like a lot of people are making a lot of money right now just throwing tons of stuff through the AI listers. And, dealing with the imperfections, dealing with the returns, but they're making lots of money by just going with bulk. That's not my strategy, but anyway, I digress. The AI tool I'm using, so I'm not really shilling anybody or like having codes or anything like that right now, but I'll tell you, I use Spadeberry is one I use for all my clothing and for all my shoes. It does a really good job for that. And then I'm starting to dabble in, I'm not used it a lot, but the one that most of your, I would say most people are using, I don't know if it's true or not, but it seems like that from the influencers, Better, or List Perfectly. List Perfectly is the one that I think most people are using right now. So all things considered, I am actually only using AI for exclusively for shoes and for clothing, because it helps the process so much. I do believe List Perfectly is the answer for media, maybe for postcards, that kind of thing too. But I've not played a lot with it yet. I definitely will get it. All it's going to take is one buyout. Like once I hit a buyout this summer of a bunch of media, then it'll be like, okay, I need to do this. But right now with the media, I find Spadeberry lacks a little bit. It doesn't, since I have to look the price point of all these up anyway, like I'm almost just as fast on the sell similar. But if it was something like you're just selling a bunch of stuff and it's going to be $7 a pop, $10 a pop, $20 a pop, and you're just doing a blanket pricing, then yeah, you definitely want to run it through the AI. But for books anyway, let's see, I'm going to grab these while I talk. For books anyway, I'm an Amazon seller, and so I got a box going out today. If it's got a barcode, if it's got ISBN, I'm still doing FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, and so it's going straight there, so I don't have to deal with it. Anyway, I think you could do better on eBay these days, but most of my books are going to Amazon. This one should fit. Actually, I know it's going to fit that box. Let's do this box. 20 by 8 by 6. I've dropped one of these the other day over here. Oh, no, that was a bigger one. I just haven't picked it up yet. I have a 30-inch box sitting over there. I'm just too lazy to pick it up. But this is my 20 by 8 by 6. It should fit these perfectly. We got some old Cutco. So these Cutco knives picked up at an estate. I was very surprised that the estate missed them. And I was very surprised they were still there, because by the time I got to the kitchen, we were about an hour into the estate. And Cutco's always good. If it says Cutco, you're just going to buy it. I mean, obviously, check the price. The pearl white and the solid black handles are kind of the newer ones that do better for me, too. These are the old vintage ones. I think they're the Bakelite. Pretty sure those are Bakelite, the wall holders on these guys. This set would have sold for about 50, 60 bucks more if it wasn't missing the knives. It's missing 2 small knives, and I raided that kitchen so hard, I know those knives were not there. If they were there, I would have found them. Because once you like know something's there, once you know what's going on, you know, like we find one thing, you're like a shark. You want to just keep looking for that blood trail. Like, okay, we got Cutco. What else do we got? Because this person obviously cared about their kitchen supplies. They obviously got good stuff. You're going to look for the rest of it. And that one, we did score pretty good. So I found the one Cutco set. We found another Cutco set. And then I also found, so yeah, we got these 2, which are the 2 I found. Then I found their serving utensils were also Cutco. I got like 6 pieces of that. And then from the other team, if you caught my stream the other day, this is the same estate that had the sharpening blocks I sold for 55 bucks a piece. We were in for under 5. And then we also got a KitchenAid from the same estate. So this kitchen, the kitchen produced probably about 300 bucks for us at that one estate. We're going to do the same kind of strategy with these. Sometimes I'll take these out and individually wrap each one. Since they're in a nice case, as long as I like add the cases, I'm not too worried about these going just as is. I'll do bubble around them. If they were higher dollar, I mean, these are, don't get me wrong, they sold for about 100 bucks, but like if they were higher dollar, $100 each knives, they'd be getting individually padded. I don't think the customer would care more about that. All right, that's good, that's good. A little too much on that padding. And make sure I can fit these without smushing them. That'll be good. All right. I'm content with that. Let's get this going on. I don't like that it rattles that much, but you know, I'm not going to take the time to individually wrap each one on that one. 20 by 8 by 6. And we're going ground advantage, about right on the ship. Nice. Onto a smaller sale. Selling through all the video games from a couple weeks back. Just a small sale on this PS2 game. It'll go in a bubble mailer. Mafia. The black label. Complete in the box CIB. And like we talked about a couple days ago, I like using the word tested on these. I think that's what people are looking for. I think they actually search by that keyword. It would sell either way eventually. But yes, the thrift stores have been hitting for me. They've been really good. A couple of the sales going out today. I got that book set, so there's a book set going out that is pretty awesome that I got from the thrift. These guys right here. Got to go actually get this with the rest of them. I took it, had to take it out for my thumbnail. Because apparently thumbnails are important. People like those. Let's see, 8 ounces. Save a little bit on the shipping here. Actually bought it right out of some lady's cart. It was a fun situation. She was nice. She was a good gal. I bought the set right out of her cart. And I paid for it again at the front. Not the first time I've done that. One time I was at a book sale. I don't know if I've told this story. I probably have. I was at a book sale where they were selling a bunch of Easton Press, the really good collectible books. And those Easton Press, they like took the sheet off because you know they were waiting for everybody to get in there. They take the sheet off the tables. There's all these Easton Press. This guy was shoveling them on his side. I was shoveling them on my side. But I watched the guy for the whole sale, and he's not scanning. He's not moving fast. He's just kind of like moseying around looking at books. So I started talking to him. I'm like, hey, you know, you got some really cool books there. You know, what are you buying them for? He ends up telling me, oh yeah, I have a Airbnb and you know, I want to make sure that there's some cool looking books on the shelf. I want to, you know, just get some old looking books. Okay, well, let me tell you what, there's lots of old looking books there, but for those books, it costs you $100. And he couldn't give them to me fast enough. So I got all of his Easton Press. I paid for them again at the checkout, but for $100, I said, just move them from your pile to my pile. I'll toss you $100. Go get some other old books. He was very happy. Let's see. We've got Chick Parsons, April 9th. April 9th. I think this is inside. If I have to go inside to get this one. Oh, wait. It might be right there. It is right there. It's old enough that this one might have actually been inside my house, but this one's been listed over a year. There were no sold comps for it. And so some people would call me crazy for taking this kind of offer. This one I did keep out of my markdown sale. So again, like I said earlier, if it's an obscure thing that's just going to take the right buyer, I don't take it or put it in my markdown sales because this one has no sold comps. Like there's no data out there for it. So I had it listed at, I think, $70. And it just sat for over a year with no action. Well, this guy came in and offered $18, I think. And I almost took it. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, $18 on a 70 offer, but when it's been listed that long, there's no data to support, you know, what I'm listing it for. It's money. And I'm picking this up in a lot for nothing. So I did attempt a counter offer because I'm like, if you're offering something, you're not going anywhere. So I threw $50 back at him and he said 24. I said, okay, whatever. $24. You got a deal, I think. But again, there's no data to support it. So this could be worth the 70. It could be worth whatever someone is willing to pay at the time. And they were willing to pay $24. So it is worth $24. Chick Parsons, America's Master Spy in the Philippines. If anybody else is hanging out in the comment or in the chat, throw me a chat. Let me know you're here, whether you want to have questions or anything you want to talk about. Even if you just say hello, that would be great. I have one viewer from Australia who was chatting with me on comments, and she said he watches me in the Arvo. I guess that's slang for afternoon. I learned that by a little bit of Google. So there I'm now slightly more cultured than I was just a day ago. That it's good to have you here. I'm glad to have some people from down under. And I know that a lot of my viewers are not even in the States because of the time I do this. I'm getting a lot of people watching in the evenings across the pond, I believe. How long do you run the sales? 1 week, 1 month, whatever? I run it as long as eBay will possibly let me run them. So what I do is every month, I kind of just, like right now, like just yesterday and just today, I go through my Amazon and I don't use a repricer. Come at me, any Amazon people, but I'll double check my pricing to make sure all my Amazon prices are good. And then for eBay, I'll go and I'll just go to my markdown manager and I'll re-up any of the sales, and then any items that from one sale need to go to another sale get added to that sale. And so the sales are running forever, but I have to re-up them every time eBay will make me, which I think is 40-some days. I have to look at the data, but it's I do it every month. So every month I just run the sale as long as it'll let me go. So it's continually marked down. If it's 1 month, again, what is it, 15%? If it's 3 months, it is, for me, it's 30%. 6 months to a year is about half off. And then after a year, I reevaluate. I might relist it. I might just garage sale it. I might donate it. I might burn it in my backyard, but it goes. After that, after a year, I'm pretty much getting rid of stuff unless it's, you know, some kind of specialty item that needs to get the right buyer. All right, so this is the set. This is the fun one. I did get $150 for this set, and if it was complete, we'd get probably $220, $250, something like that. This is a huge. I gotta use 50 pounds. Oh my goodness gracious! There we go. Huge box of books. I pre-pack these as I go, so I don't have to pack them again. I only have to touch them once. And these guys went quick. They were only listed for a day, which is uncommon. Usually these take a while to find the right buyer. But these guys, oh, my children are visiting. Hello, children, come in. No, they don't want to come in. That's fine. Anyway, they're getting used to me doing this live streaming thing. They're like, Dad, this is weird. So I do have my kids in the morning. My wife actually is sick today. Anyway, I got distracted. These will sell, the Harvard Classics big book lots. When they go media mail, you could do pretty good on the shipping. And so they're going media. This box, I think, is like malformed. Regardless, I put them in a box. We'll see if it should hold. I might need to grab a different one. But I pay at my bins $5 for a basket of books. So this was the equivalent of roughly 2 baskets of books. And what happened? Make sure that's the right. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to resize this with my box resizer to make sure I use less crush. What happened is this other gal, these came out, and she was shoveling them into her cart, similar to the other situation. I was shoveling them into my cart, and I made a joke. I'm like, we're going to have to rock, paper, scissors for it later, which is what I like to do with people if, you know, we ever have to solve a disagreement at the bins. Rock, paper, scissors for the items. And she's not really a reseller. I'm pretty sure she does it for her kids. And so later on, I asked her, had a conversation. I had like 20-something of the books. She had 20-some of the books, so half and half. And I said, so, hey, you know, like, what are you doing with these? Are you sell them? Do you have a store? Whatever. And, oh, Leslie, good to see you. And so she said, goodness, where was I? She's like, oh, yeah, I just buy them for my family. I buy them for myself, my kids. We like these. And I'm like, oh, yeah, so those Harvard Classics, you know, you're going to keep those? She's like, oh, yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm like, well, I buy and sell, and I'd really like to have the full set. Could I actually buy those from your cart? Could I toss you $20? Could I toss you $20? You know, you don't even have to buy them. And she was very happy to do it. Yeah, this is a really malformed box. You can hear the crinkle. Like something didn't go right in the production of this box, but I think it's going to be okay. Okay. Anyway, she was very happy to, you know, me to toss her 20 bucks, transfer the books from her cart to my cart, and then I was able to get them in a couple baskets at the front. So my cost for this is 30 bucks. And we sold for $150 in a day. Now, it's an annoying pack. It's a big pack. But I would do this all day long. 30 bucks into 150, not bad at all. Now, if she wouldn't have transferred them from her cart to my cart, there's about, I don't know, I'd have to look up the comps. There's probably about a 50% chance I would have just put them back. Because if you can use the word complete, or in my case, I'm kind of cheating a little bit, I use that word near complete. People will search by that keyword. They will search for the complete set. And then they see the near complete, because I'll still pop up in those search results. Kind of sneaky, but whatever. And they'll say, wow, I can save 100 bucks. This would normally go for about $250. I can buy a near complete set. Where if you've only got like half the books, no one's looking for that. No one really wants that. So it would be tougher to move these guys if it was not near complete. We were 3 books short of the full set. 3 books short of the full set. And those 3 books did cost us about $100, but I'm not going to spend the time trying to source those, you know, just to add them in and increase my costs. Increase the time I'm going to have to deal with something like this. All right, let's do this. Now these guys, I tape the crap out of them. I use 1 box. The U-line boxes are really nice. And we're gonna tape this to Kingdom Come so that there's no chance this thing could ever come undone on us. Even though I think this box, like I said, something went wrong with this box at the factory because it's got like a crinkle to one of the edges. But these books won't care. These books will be fine. These books have probably seen a lot worse. I'm going to do even, I don't do this much. I'm going to tape around the entire egg. Yeah, this guy's not going anywhere. All right. And let's do, we'll give it a full roll of tape. All the tape. One more, and we should be good to go. All right. And we'll double check. Sometimes I can get a better rate with UPS or FedEx than on media. Oh, and the price here is the great state of Ohio. Nice. 17 by 17, because I had to resize it by, we'll call it 15. Whoa. What are we looking at for weight on this guy? Whole heck of a lot, probably. 40. I gotta move it to the floor. It's kind of resting on the side of something. I can't use that as an accurate measurement. There we go, much better. Goodness, this one's giving me trouble to weigh. Okay. 57, I'm going to call it 58 pounds. Just to be sure. Whew. That was a pack. Pull this up again. So we're at 58 pounds, 17 by 17 by 15. Medium mail is going to cost 47 bucks. And everything else is stupidly expensive because it went over 50 pounds. Just for fun, Let's put this at 50 pounds just to experiment and see. I'm not going to do this, obviously. But if it was 50 pounds, that's the max for UPS and FedEx. So you can save. It would have been 74 bucks rather than over 100 bucks for UPS if it was that weight. But anyway, can't beat media mail in these big sets. It means they're not insured, but I've only ever had one trouble out of thousands of packages. 58 pounds, 17.50, going media mail. Boom. I'm not going to add my extra insurance because they're just fine. Love to see those go. Love to see those go fast so they're not sitting in my shop. But even though it was a big pack, even though it was an annoying pack, it was a pack. It made us about 100 bucks after, well, probably about 80 bucks after everything's said and done. But 80 bucks, it probably took me 30 minutes of time all in between maybe 45 minutes time all in between what we just did. And so we're well over 50 bucks an hour, which is kind of where my target is. We have one more pack today. I am going to skip this pack. My wife is sick today. She's staying home from school because she's a teacher. I'm dealing with the kids to get them to school, so I'm going to go handle that. And this guy's going to take a minute or two. It's another Bible commentary set, another big old book box set, so it's going to take a little time to get these going out. We paid at a garage sale. I want to say I might have paid up 20 bucks, and they took an offer for 56 on these. So, you know, smaller sale. They've been sitting for a long time. Condition was rougher than I expected, so they would have done better with a better condition, but still making good money there. That'll be all my sales today. Let's see, we got anybody in the chat. We got Pricers, we got Artie, Mike, Leslie, thanks for coming again. Pricers, thanks again. I got a few listings done, so I can't chat as much. Yep, I'm glad you're getting listings done. Much better to make money than to chat in a random Montanan's channel. So thanks, Artie, Mike. Good to see you too. Anybody else that's catching the replay or anybody else that's hanging out and maybe not chatting, you can do two things to really help out. I know every YouTube channel says these things, but it is so true. Liking it and subscribing really help. If you click that subscribe button, it would help me out. It helps push this content out to as many people as possible, and also helps you in your algorithm so that you can find more content like this. It'll feed you more things that will be similar to this kind of content. So thank you so much, and throw me a comment if you're catching the replay. Take care, everybody.